Hey you fans of popular culture, I thought I'd take a different tack on this video today. I get a lot of people asking me how to prepare tofu, and the way I make it, you can't tell the difference between chicken and if you can believe it, the way I make it, it almost tastes like cheese too, like a grilled cheese sandwich. Okay, well what I do is I usually use this extra firm tofu. This is the best type to work with, because if you use the soft one, you're just gonna mash it into like a flat pancake. This is what you want to use, extra firm. Now I just want to say that tofu, for you women that are over 50, if you want to stop or control your osteoporosis, just know that milk, 1 cup has 305 milligrams. Tofu has 868 milligrams per cup. And of course, the daily maximum or minimum rather is 1200 milligrams a day. So you can get by with tofu getting your calcium. And I just want to say it has a lot of magnesium, tofu. And if you don't know what magnesium is used for, that's for your cells, your nucleic acids, and your enzymes. Without your enzymes, nothing works. And it's got a high protein content, so if you want to be vegetarian or vegan, you really can get by without eating meat. In my situation, I changed them to a meatless diet I think it's already since 1997, so it's been 21 years ago, and I'm fine. I'm probably more healthy than before when I was eating meat, and that's just the way I feel. A lot of people say they need the protein from the meat, they feel weak, but you can get a lot of protein in tofu. You can get 20 grams per cup, and the daily minimum of protein is 56 grams. Of course in 1 cup of meat you get 117 grams, where you get absolutely no fat, hardly any fat in your tofu. And I've seen too many people with strokes and diabetes, and I highly recommend to switch to a vegetarian, if not vegan diet. But you can pretty much get everything out of a vegetarian diet, vegan diet, except B12. If you're on a vegan diet, you can get by with taking B12 in a fortified breakfast, like oatmeal, or in my case, I eat a lot of cream of wheat, but I take also a B12 supplement. So I just want to say here, what with popular culture and how it deals with food and the future, okay, there's a maximum carrying capacity for the globe, the earth, Gaia, if you will. It can only take 10 billion people, 10 billion souls. Up to that point, they say we're going to have mass famine, because the available quantities of resources at 10 billion won't be able to sustain. It won't be able to stretch out to that amount of population. Now the world's population is 7 billion right now. China's got 18% of that population, India 17%, and it's geometrically increasing, the population of the world. And right now we're at 7 billion. By 2050 we're going to be at 9 billion. And by 2100 we're going to be 10 billion. So they really don't know what's going to happen. I predict by about 2020, 2030 they're going to start phasing out meat, because the available arable land devoted to livestock, if you can believe it, is 3.5 billion acres, or 1.4 billion hectares. Now if they leave little or nothing for livestock to grow, like grow grains and corn and what have you, to feed a cow to make meat, if they stop giving all those resources to well, building meat, if you will, those 3.5 billion acres, it can produce 2 billion tons of grains annually, and that can be able to feed 10 billion vegans. But we all have to agree to it. But I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think they're going to have a choice by 2040 unless everybody agrees to give up meat, or if you're willing to eat meat grown in a machine, because that's what I heard the other day. They're gonna get to the point where they can actually artificially grow meat. So I'd rather really eat tofu if I was a meat eater than meat grown in a lab. And the peak population, like I said, is 10 billion, and if you have a child now, he can live till 2100. He'd be 80 if he was born right now. He or she, they'd be 83 at the turn of the century. And if you yourself, you young parents, start changing over to a meatless diet, well, your son or your grandson, they're gonna really they're gonna honor your memory. I'm not trying to preach, but I think the world's not going to have a choice. So let me show you, you fans of popular culture, you my subscribers, and I hope you don't think I'm like I'm impressing this type of diet. I'm not a kook, a health kook. But if you're a lover of animals and you hate to see how the way they kill animals, and if of course, like I said before, if you want to maintain your health, you want to control diabetes in your life, control cancers, well, meatless is the way to go. And if you're concerned about the world heating up, there's billions and billions of tons of methane, CO2 thrown into the air just from cows, chickens, and all livestock. I mean, that creates an immense amount of horrific methane in the atmosphere. So if you're concerned about global warming, I highly recommend to switch to a meatless diet. So here you go. I've opened up 2 of these already, and then I drained the water, and then here's what I got: a block of tofu, and then of course here you go, 20 grams of protein per cup. Like I said, high in calcium, high in magnesium. And what I do is I drain it, like I said, I put it on a plate like this, and then I cover it with another double paper towel. And then usually the water, when it gets pushed out, it gets wicked into this paper, and then it spills over. So I kind of like block it like that. Okay, so let's go to the second half, and I'll show you how I squeeze out the water. And let me tell you, I've never seen a video quite doing what I'm doing. Maybe there is. It took me 20 years of eating tofu before I figured it out. I know it's common sense. It appears so, but I could never figure out how they could get the tofu dry in a Chinese restaurant. And before YouTube, I didn't know anything about it, or rather the method of squeezing out the water out of a block of tofu. And so let's go to the second part. And again, please don't feel that I'm preaching. I'm a kook, a health kook, I'm a peta kook. I'm none of those things. I'm not really concerned about the atmosphere. And like I said, for me, I changed to a meatless diet just because of the health considerations. I've seen too many young people getting strokes, paralyzed, too many people with diabetes, too many people with cancers of all sorts. So that's why I changed. And you women, if you're concerned about your osteoporosis, this is the way to go. Forget about the milk. This has got calcium, magnesium, and tons of protein, and I eat a lot of it. every day. I can chop it up after I grill it. I can put it in pasta with olive oil. I make sandwiches, and I grill it in a baguette, loaf of bread on the griddle, which I'm going to show you. So okay, thank you. Let's go on to the next part.